Hey, it's Anthony Meisner with Land Title. I'm going to bring our greater Denver metro market update. This is all the month of April data, so everything is nice and up to date. Now, if you ever need a highlight reel, this is a really great place to get our talking points. I won't go over these because we're going to go ahead through them through the rest of the presentation, but these are like your elevator pitch if you're getting after, with clients. So the one thing that I wanted to bring up here, and I think this is the most important part of the Denver metro market, is that inventory doesn't seem to be trending up. Right? There's so much demand that things are staying steady, if not even decreasing month over month into this spring market, which is a remarkable sign for what's happening, right? We definitely are experiencing some bidding wars, nowhere near like the past, but let's take a look at this and dive a little bit more in. The under contract numbers are not like last year, right? So we have less listings coming to market, but we have a lot of buyers active and out there. So we have things trending a little bit more flat. It's a really interesting springtime. You got to be careful and we got to really dive into this. So under contracts down 17% year over year. It shouldn't really surprise anyone with the higher interest rates. What surprises me is those active units. You can see right here, last year we had 4,000 active units. We only have 4,300 active units. We are barely above where we were last year. Now, all markets are not created equal. If you look right here down in the bottom corner, you see a lot of these submarkets are off in very, very different pieces. So it just depends. If you're in the city of Denver, one thing might be happening. If you're out in Broomfield, completely different type of the market. So that being said, let's take a look at our month supply of inventory. We are at 1.14. This is a hot seller's market. You can see we're only up 40% from this time last year, and with the change in interest rates, that is actually remarkable. But that being said, obviously Denver is a really desirable market, and I think you should really pay attention to this because it is competitive. If you're a seller, get in sooner than later. If you're a buyer, it's worth competing right now because if interest rates come down in the next couple of quarters, you absolutely could be back in the situation we were in a year ago. And that being said, nobody wants to be in that position where it's just ultra hot and it's way too hard to get things under contract. So if you're a first-time home buyer and you can qualify, get out there and shop right now because that's a really big deal. Days in MLS. Obviously, the pace of the market is not the same as last year, but some of those homes that are having bidding wars are going very fast. The average pace of the market, though, 26 and a half days from active to under contract time. This is slowing down, or I guess this is speeding up because of the spring market, but it is nowhere near where it was a year ago. 200% change year over year. So if you're having a hard time qualifying or getting a home right now or getting under contract, there is definitely homes sitting on the market. It just depends on what are you looking for and what are you willing to take. So we have two parts of the market there, right? And especially in the lower end of the market, it might be a lot tighter. So let's take a look at that by average sales price and by price range, right? So here's active and sold units by price range. The best part about this is you can really see where in the market is suffering, and you can see that more expensive end of the market. So take that 800, even 600,000 and above, we have less sales than a year ago, and largely due to affordability, right? We all know that because cost of money has gotten so much more expensive. But the luxury market is slowing down a little bit, but at the same time, month over month, it's starting to change. We're starting to feel it shift. It's still a very desirable market. It's just starting to see inventory stack up, and you can really see it right here. This is our month supply of inventory in days on market by price range. What I would say about this is the slide to use with your clients because you can see how things are changing. You can see in their market, let's say they're 5 to 599, that it's ultra competitive, 0.9 months of inventory, and 5 to 599 has 34 days average in MLS. So some of that stuff that was sitting on the market is really starting to sell, and that's changing that average. Even if the median might be more like 10 days because it's moving fast, there's definitely all that stuff that sat over the fall and into quarter four has changed. So the other part of this is look at 2 to 3 million. We have 4 months of inventory. This is the first time it's been in a balanced market for a very long time, but the days on market are 20. So what does that mean? It means you have a lot of homes that are sitting for a long time, but the new stuff coming on the market that's fresh and it looks good, it's buttoned up, and it's priced appropriately is selling very, very rapidly. So there's still buyers in that marketplace. There's just not as many buyers as there was in years past. So all that being said, those are some really good slides for your clients. Now the sold analysis, this is where things are not looking as favorable as we would all like, right? Year over year, we're 25% down in sales. We had almost 5,000 homes sold last year. Obviously, we knew we'd be off of that this year, but we're down to 3,700 homes sold in the Denver metro area at this time. So that's slowed down quite a bit. If you look at the average sales price, though, average sales prices, they're showing year over year down 7%. That doesn't necessarily mean that we're comparing apples to apples like we were a year ago, right? Obviously, with this historical graph, you can see that there's never a bad time to buy real estate, right? Unless you're selling it in the short term, you basically just need to wait it out. So if you bought last year at the peak of the market, by next year, you're probably okay, right? Sometimes it just takes a time. But we did see average sales prices come down a little bit, but now they're skyrocketing back up with all these bidding wars taking place. So that being said, I think that month over month change of 3% is a really good sign. Year over year, don't read too much into this. All the submarkets are acting a little bit different, but you can really see that we're trending in the right direction, and this is a good sign going forward. Now, here we go, our sold units year to date. Now, this is the basically like comparing where we are this year to last year. The one thing that surprised me more than anything is that April has had less sold units than March. It's just like we're running out of steam in the market because of these elevated interest rates. So expect that those under contract numbers are going to continue to suffer, which is going to continue to drive us kind of at a peak right now. It seems like we're on pace with about 2014 levels. Now, I don't necessarily know if we're going to continue to stay there, right? It really depends on interest rates. But for right now, we're a ways off of our total sold units compared to where we were in years past. So definitely something to be mindful of. Obviously, year over year, we're down 25%. Year to date, we're down about 20%. So we're off of last year, but last year was our high water mark. So you got to really compare it to your past. The sold price to list price, this is one of the most important ones because this really gives you a better gauge of what the market's going through, right? So you can see the sold to list price is nowhere near where it was a year ago. It might be competitive. It might be a seller's market. You might be seeing some bidding wars out there in the marketplace. But 100.3% is our listed sale price. So on average, homes are going for a little bit above asking price. But the highest price range, that $400,000 to $600,000 price range, 100.7% listed sale price, very, very different than what we experienced over the last 2 years. That being said, it's still a seller's market. It's just not the frenzy we saw over the past couple of years. So definitely don't read into that too much. This is a good sign. This is a seller's market. If you're buying a home, you definitely want to stay out there and stay active because as a buyer, you really want to get in before interest rates drop. And we have more buyer competition coming back into this market, making it even more competitive. So very rarely do we say, this is a good time to sell and this is a good time to buy. But here we are in Colorado real estate. It doesn't always make a ton of sense like that. So we got to read into it a little bit more. If you need submarkets or you need any other local information, let me know. I'm Anthony at Land Title, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Talk to you later.